Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Newcastle United. We'll start off with Vinny from Sky.
David, first of all, can we take a check on Jared Branthwaite? How serious is the injury, and was it a case of the injury keeping him out of the England squad this time around?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's been named in England squad, but I can tell you that he's injured and he won't be available. It's probably an injury, probably 4 or 5 weeks, his hamstring. So there's not much we can do about it. It's a big loss to us, but we have to live with it just now.
And Seamus Coleman as well.
Seamus Coleman's got a thigh strain, yes. So Seamus not available either.
Obviously, it's been announced this week that Doucoure will be leaving the club. How do you feel about that now?
Well, I think he's been a great servant for the club. He's done a great job over many years here. We've made him an offer, and he's got a better one to go elsewhere. So from that point of view, we have to live with that as well. So we're quite comfortable with that. Obviously, we're also trying to sort of look to rebuild and make things better and try to see what we can do more. So we wanted him to stay, but obviously he's chosen to take a better offer.
Given you wanted him to stay, how difficult a player is he to replace, given what he brings and his ability to get around the pitch as much as anything?
More Evertonians and a lot of people who watched Everton over the years will tell me how good he's been for the club. I remember him greatly from his Watford days and obviously here as well. And I can only say since I've been here, he's been really, really good. We've just about selected him in every game we've played. So we'll miss him, but you know, I've got no hard feelings from his decision. It's a decision he chose, which he thought was best.
Anything further on those others out of contract? Drissagana Gay, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Michael Keane as well.
Yeah. We'll probably we'll certainly do something we'll put something out on Monday after the game. We'll get one more game to play and try to keep our focus on that.
The club obviously made a statement though about online abuse received by Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
Have you spoken to him? How is he?
I've not spoken to Dom directly about it, but obviously the club made me well aware of it. We're aware of the situation, what happened, and obviously it's something which we completely condemn. I don't do social media, so I try to stay away from it completely. But I do know that getting any form of abuse is not correct.
Just with the loan players as well, do they fall into the same bracket as maybe an announcement on Monday, or is this effectively where their association ends?
Yeah, everybody will know their position. You know, as I say, while you'll still get games to play, it's quite difficult. We need a lot of the players to play for us and be ready to play, but most of the players are well aware of their situations.
You're now secure in 13th place as well with that final victory at Goodison Park as well. How do you feel about getting to that position now, given what the position was when you took over?
Well, I think that I don't know if we could have got much better than where we are when we first came in. Crystal Palace, they've been in a really good second half of the season, and obviously have gone and won the cup as well. So they were about the only team who were sort of in our that we could have even thought about catching at the time. But I have to say I'm really, really pleased for us to get the points, and we've finished with an awful lot of big sides, good sides, and the players have done a brilliant job. They really have. We now need to pick that up again, start the next season, and hopefully take it into the new stadium, but also into the new season.
I think you've said about what you want to get back to. I mean, I remember in 2005, obviously beating Newcastle at Goodison Park to effectively qualify for Champions League. Newcastle have that opportunity, obviously, this weekend as well.
Yeah, it's a great achievement for Newcastle. Or it could be a great achievement for Newcastle, and they've already won a trophy this year, so they've done a remarkable job at Newcastle. They really have done, and it's become a football club which is challenging all the big sides. So they'll give us a really good game. It'll be a tough day for us to go to Newcastle, but we've been good away from home. We want to keep our form going. Obviously we're missing a few players, but we'll go there hopefully with that confidence that we can get a result.
And when you are missing players, it's opportunities for others. What are you hoping to see, given that obviously you are secure in that position, but Newcastle have so much to play for in terms of their league position?
Yeah, well, we've seen most of the players now, and I think we know most of the players, so we'll need to make sure that we've got the right players there and give us every opportunity. But yeah, it might be an opportunity for the odd one because of some injuries. But we want to go there and put on a good show.
Thanks, David.
Cheers.
Thanks, Vinny. We'll go to Simon.
It's sure to be an incredible atmosphere up there as well. As far as your lads are concerned, do you need to get them to sort of match the passion that they will show and the players will undoubtedly show as well, or is there arguably less pressure on your lads and they can just go out and be free?
Well, there's certainly less pressure because of the players over the years have been in a much difficult position at this time. So I see that a little bit, but I think every football game you're out there, you've got to perform. There's no hiding place. You have the media, you have your own families to play, you've got your manager to play in front of. So you've got to put on a show and you've got to play well. Part of your job as a player is to do that. But let's be fair, if you'd given me this position when I first took over, that we were going into the last game, not needing any points at Newcastle and being as high as we possibly could be roughly, I'd have taken it all day long. So great credit we've got in that position, but we want to go and see if we can make it difficult for Newcastle.
As far as you personally are concerned, it's clearly the amount of work that you've put in here since you came back to Everton. Will you afford yourself a chance to properly switch off for a while? Did you ever do that?
Yeah, well, look, it's never easy when you're the manager to ever switch off. You're always on the phone, you're always taking calls or as you know, we've got a lot of business probably to do or look to do in the summer. So I think we'll be pretty busy. So I don't think I'll be too far away from the phone, but I'm going to take some time off. I think we've worked hard in the 3 or 4 months we've been here to try and get ourselves in a strong position. We've certainly kept ourselves a Premier League club, and so the next part is to grow it. So that's a little bit harder that we now need to take it forward, but looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Simon. We'll go to Mike at Radio Merseyside.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, David. If you look at your return, 28 points from 19 matches since you took over, what do you think's enabled you to get the very best out of the players? Because obviously you've been a manager with a lot of experience, but you took over a squad that were used to getting beat, if you like, and that's not an easy habit to get rid of.
Yeah.
But now they look completely different.
I have to say, I think the crowd played a huge part. I think getting the crowd on side here at Goodison, as everybody knows, and not just at Goodison, in the away games as well. The away support was able to go and see us win at Brighton, see us win at Crystal Palace, do well at Brentford, and on the road we've picked up some really good results. Which obviously, if you're an away support and you're going to all the games, you want to see your team being competitive. I think at home we started great. You think of how Beto came on the scene out of nowhere and got his goals when we were in this room. Everybody was asking me, how are you going to score any goals or how are you going to make any goals? I think we've done pretty well in that department. I think we've always looked a threat in the games, and so I really do think that the big thing is we've got the crowd back on our side, and I really do. They play such a part to have the support there, but I would be completely out of order if I didn't mention how well the players have done. I think the players have stepped up unbelievably well. I've said many times about Sean Dyche's left a lot of really good habits, a lot of good things at the football club here, a lot of things which have been ingrained in the club even from my earlier time and probably before as well. But I have to say that if you look at that group of players to where they are now, you would have probably said there's no chance they could do that, and I have to give them all great credit and thank them for their efforts.
Given the number of players that are out of contract and the loan situation as well, have you had to be a little bit more fluid in your thinking for what you'd like to do for next season? Because with the best will in the world, it's going to be really difficult to change things around in one window, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think it's more something which we have to realise, and everybody will have to realise, that we've got an awful lot of players out of contract. We've got the most players on loan of any club in the Premier League. We have to find a way of sort of starting to get back on the correct road. We'll try and do that. We'll try and sign some players, but we'll also have to keep some players as well. And if we keep them and they play as well as they've done this season, that's not a problem, because our positioning, the way the players have played, has been really good in the last couple of months. So from that point of view, I've got no problems with keeping them all at the moment because they're doing so well. But we want to add and we want to become better, and we're going to try and do that.
And during the summer, transfer-wise, you've got to be nimble and fleet of foot and adaptable. How much encouragement have you had so far when you've spoken to the representatives of the players that you'd like to bring in?
Well, we've not spoke to many, because that would be wrong, and I wouldn't put ourselves in a position where we're breaking any rules or anything, because we want to be fair and do things in the correct manner. So we've got a lot of things in place. We're obviously touching base with some people to see what their thoughts are. Would they like to join the club? And we're looking to see what situation is going to happen here with the players who we'll speak to about new contracts, etc. So there's a lot of things going on at the moment behind the scenes, and we'll try and bring the supporters up to date as quickly as we possibly can. It's just not quite possible to sort of relay all the information at the moment.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Any further questions in the open section before we move on? Yep. David.
How special was it for you to manage the final game at Goodison Park, having been at the club for 11 years prior?
Incredibly special. It really was. It was a brilliant day for so many in lots of ways. You know, I thought the crowd were fantastic on the day. We got a result, which was the most important thing. We hadn't played at our best, but we'd done enough to win. As it is, that win's got us 13th, and we can't go drop any lower than that now. And from that point of view, it was probably a really good day. I think the biggest thing for us all was to say, I think to have a support which comes in its numbers the way it did was immense. You know, from so early in the morning. And I was saying, you know, it makes you think what would it be like if we were really going to challenge for something and could get back in amongst it. I don't want to put myself under pressure by saying that, but the fan base what the club's got obviously is ready for success in some sort. Maybe the end of this season has given us all that feeling that we want it back.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. We'll now move on to the embargoed section.